We'll see. Uh, okay. The arrangement will be something like this. Arrangement won't be in the previous case. Like, okay, I'll draw it here only, so that need not to toggle between two. So it will be something like this. The actual physical arrangement will be something like this. There will be 5 parts, each of which is going to have 4 parts. So this will be your row 1, that's row 0, R0. This will be R1. This will be R2. This will be R3. So it is having total 20 members, 20 integer members, that is 5 into 4. Each is having is taking 2 bytes. So the memory piece which will be allocated for the be 40 bytes. Out of, if I'm starting this from 0, first uh, first 8 bytes will be of row 1, next 8 bytes will be of row 2, then row 3, 4 and 5. Okay. Now these 8 bytes are further divided into 4 parts for these 4 locations. Okay. So this member will be stored here. 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 Okay. So the first 4 elements of first row are stored. Then we start with the second location. We start with the second row. So this element will be stored here. So this element will be stored here. This will be stored here. From here we are going to start with the third row. Here we are going to start with the fourth row. Here we are going to start with the fifth row. This R4. So this is the way the memory piece is saved, or this is the actual memory representation of an array. This way you can see here, uh, ABC01 is stored here, then 02, then 03. After this we are starting with next row. We are starting with next row. Okay, so there will be a jump of 2. This is the first row is ended here, next row is started here. Similarly you can see. So they will be stored in this sequence. I'll erase this. The array will be stored in this sequence. First these 5, then these 5, then these 5, then these 5, then these 5. Okay, so they will be stored in this sequence in the actual memory representation. For us, this is the conceptual memory location which we are looking for in a matrix form or a table form if I am talking about dimensional array. So any doubt till this point, or shall we proceed? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, please tell, or if it is clear, that also please you tell.
Clear, sir.
Things are clear. I hope so.
Clear, sir.
Everyone it's the same thing. Now these are the different ways to initialize an array of size 2 by 3, having same elements but 3 different arrangements to declare. If I am declaring this array can be initialized by specifying its size. So it will be 2 by 3 array. So there will be 2 rows and 3 columns. 2 rows and 3 columns. So the first bracket will be your first row. It will be arranged in this way: 130, and minus 1, 5, 9. Now in this case you can see that even if I am not is the row number is missing. Row number is not specified, but still as we have two inner brackets, compiler will itself understand that yes, there are two rows. So it is also going to produce the same output. Or here you can see that both the dimensions are mentioned and the numbers are continuously given. So if numbers are continuously given, what it is going to do is going to divide to two parts as first row and second. So it will implicitly take it. So all three are going to lead to the same output, and all three are valid declarations. All three are valid declarations. In case if I am declaring this as, let us say that there is no column number, then it won't be permitted. Okay. So at least one dimension has to be mentioned. So these are three different ways to initialize a 2D array. If we are taking a simple example of a two-dimensional array, uh, in this way, we are declaring an array of size 2 by 3. Now, as we were doing in the first our 1D array, we were having one for loop to move the index from 0th position to n minus 1 position. But now we will have two indices which will be locating the number. So we are going to have I and j as the index number, and we'll have two for loops, not a single for loop, because it will happen if I'm having an array, a matrix of 3 by 3, or rather say 3 by 4. So for every row, I am going to have four columns, 0, 1, 2, 3. For every row, I am going to have, so for row number 0, I am going to have four columns. For row number 1, I am going to have four columns. For number 2, also I am going to have four columns. So what I can say is, for every row value, all column values are appearing. Okay. So that is why for we are taking two for loops, one for loop inside another for loop, where for every I value, all j values are going to appear. All j values are going to appear. So for every value, all columns are going to appear. So now we are going to enter them like I equal to 0, j equal to 0. So I am going to enter the first element 0, 0. I is equal to 0, j is equal to 1. I am going to enter next element. So for I'll take the example directly for this. It is having two rows and three columns. So we'll take that example only. So the number of rows will be 0 and 1, and number of column will be 0, 1, 2. So it's a 2 by array. Now with 0, 0, this is going to enter this value. Let us say that the number is 5. With 0, 1, it is going to enter, let us say that it is 6. With 0, 2, it is going to enter, let us say it is 10. Then this loop is over. It will go back with new I value. I will be 1. So it is going to enter 1, 0. It is going to enter 1. It is going to enter 1, 2. Okay. This way the column will be entered, and on a very similar grounds it will be printed. It will be printed. Okay. So the output of this will be something like this. So it is going to ask every number to be entered, and a 2D will be printed. Okay. So this is the way we are defining an array. I'll stop sharing this and I'll share another screen. Let us see some one simulator of Okay, is it visible? Please confirm, any one of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll see first a program for one-dimensional array, and then we'll move for two-dimensional array. A quick overview how a program runs. So we have written a program to find average of the array elements, where we are declaring a float array of 100 elements. Okay, so at the max it can contain 100 elements. Not necessarily that you need to go for 100 elements always, but it is going to contain 100 elements. Is going to contain 100 elements. Okay, but and we are declaring the variables n, I. These are pointers and some specific numbers. Some we are going to take as initialize as 0, because we are going to uh, add them and then divide by the number of elements present in an array. So a float array is declared where we are entering the number of elements now. So 100 maximum it can take. We need to enter a value of in the range of 0 to 100. Okay, and that error message also we are printing. If n is not 100, uh, is more than 100 or below 1, then at that time it is going to deny the execution, and we'll have to re-enter the value. And then simply it is with a for loop, it is entering each number and adding it to sum. So at the end of for loop, I am going to enter all the numbers and also will be able to get the sum of all numbers. Simultaneously, both things will happen in a single loop. And after that, that sum will be divided by number of elements and average will be printed. So what way we are going to get the output? Enter number of elements. Let us say that I am entering 110. It will print a message. So this care you are supposed to take if you are doing a program and you are writing a program and you are asking the user to enter something, and the user is uh, entering something wrong or some wrong input. At that time you'll have to take care that okay, uh, that has to be what that has to be prompted to the user that no, you have done wrong. So I am and should not end the program, should re-execute the program. Now enter the number again. I am entering 10, so sorry 5, and I am entering 5 different numbers, and this is going to print the oh, it is losing connection. This is an online simulator. You can use it for practice of your programs. Unfortunately, some connection problems I have with this. I'll go for some other compiler if possible. I don't know this will be supporting the input or not. Let's check out. Is expecting command line arguments. Okay. Enter the number of elements. I am entering 110. and it will ask me to enter again. Then I'm entering 5 and 5 elements I'm entering, and it will print the, here you can see at the end it will print the 25.60 as the average of your program. Okay, so this way the program execution will be done. I'll go for another program which will find a transpose of a matrix. You know what transpose is. Okay, so transpose will make all the row members as member of column and all the column numbers as member of rows. So here you can see we are declaring arrays, two-dimensional arrays, A and transpose. Both are of size 10, 10. Maximum it can be of size 10, 10. Maximum number of rows and maximum number of columns it can have are 10, 10. Okay, but if I am taking an element which will have, taking an array which will have 5 rows and four columns, at time transpose will have 4 rows and 5 columns, right? So I hope there is no confusion in that. So but still I am taking maximum size as 10, 10, and R, C, I, J are the counters which I am going to use, where R, C are the number of rows and number of columns, and I, J are the counters. So we are declaring them as RC, and then we are entering the elements. So you can see that I will vary from 0 to R minus 1, and J will vary from 0 to C minus 1, where for every value of I, there will be all the values of J. Or in other words, for every value of row R, it is going to have all the values of column, that is C. Fine. So that care you need to take, and you go on entering the elements one by one. Once all the elements are entered, get them printed, and then find the transpose of it. How we are finding the transpose of it? It's very simple. Access the ijth element of A and make it a jith element of transpose. Jith element of transpose. Okay, so it will be changing the so number 2 1 is there, it will become 1 2 in this case, and then it will be printed. So let us see that how it will be working. Enter the number of rows and columns. I'll enter 2 for rows and 3 for columns. Okay, so I am supposed to enter 6 elements, so it is 2 by 3, it should appear as 3 by 2. uh, Let us enter the elements one by one. 5 6 9. This is the first row I've entered. Started with the second row. See, the prompts are very clear. Enter A11, A12, A13 means first row, first element, first row, second element, first row, third element. Then starts with the next one, that is second row, first element. So this care also you need to take if you are doing programming, that if you are asking anything from user, you should be clearly messaging him what he is supposed to enter. Fine. So this way you can see the output of this. Output of this you can see as the entered matrix is 5 6 9 and 7 4 8. It is 2 by 3 matrix. Transpose of it is 3 by 2 matrix. Okay. All the first row members becomes column numbers and second row members become second column number. So this is the way we can follow a, transpose practice. Transpose practice. Okay. And a last small program I'll take, which is addition of two matrices. Adding two matrices. So here what we are doing, we are defining three matrices. One is of first two are the matrices to be added, and last will be the result. Here only one thing you need to keep in mind is must have same size, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Then only they can be added, otherwise they cannot be added. It's very simple that the first 0, 0th element will be added to 0, 0th element to produce 0, 0th element. 1, 1 element is added to 1, 1 to produce 1, 1 element in the result. So the size of all the three must be same. Okay. So enter the first element, enter the second element, second array, then just can run two for loops and print produce the result. Result of ij is equal to a of ij plus b of ij. It's this simple, and then get it printed. Let us try to run it. So now it is still prompting. I am supposed to enter 4, 5, 4, 5. This is the first array. It will ask the second one. I'll take 5, 4, 5, 4. It is supposed to print an array. I'll re-enter. It is supposed to print 9999 as the total or as the result matrix. See here. Okay. So this way the sum can be done. Now what is your job? Your job homework is modify. I'll upload this Word file with 4 programs. That is just for the study purpose in the Moodle. Your job is to modify the last program, which is just now we have seen some of those elements. We are supposed to modify that last program to produce the sum of matrices for which the row and columns are entered dynamically. Here by default we are taking size of 2 by you'll modify that program to enter the row and number of columns dynamically. Definitely both will be same for both of them. So that is the way you are supposed to modify the program. And for the previous program where we found the what was that? What was the transpose? We found a transpose of a program uh, of a matrix. For that you are supposed to write a tabular steps. Okay. मैन्युअली आपको एक पेपर पे लिखना है कि how the values in that are changing. Okay, how the value of I is changing, accordingly J is changing, accordingly transpose is changing. All these you're supposed to form a table. Okay, and you will upload that table along with the second program and its output. Okay, their screenshot. So three things we are going to the program, modified program for dynamic input, its output with 2 to 3 cases, and uh, the transpose program ka table, tabular fluctuation of all the values, how the values are changing, and based on which value other values are changing and how they are behaving. So that tabulation. So three things you are supposed to do as a homework for today's class. Okay, and you will be submitting it on Moodle. ठीक है, Moodle पे आपको वो सबमिट करना है. So immediately I'll uh, upload it to Moodle and you can work on that. Fine. So any doubts in today's lecture? No doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. So I hope you will be doing that homework and uh, submitting it by tomorrow. Uh, so that's all from my side for today's lecture. Tomorrow we'll meet again, but probably we'll meet at 2 o'clock because you practical scheduled for PMDS. Okay, so we'll meet at 2 o'clock, and then I'll instruct you about the practicals also, because from today we'll be starting with practicals. Fine. Okay, thank you very much. You made the class, and if anyone has any doubt, can stay back and ask.